go. Hello. I got a new camera. It is exactly the same as the old camera. It's just mine instead of my partner's. So let's make me really small because no one wants to have that person who's like, oh, like taking up core of the screen. But, you know, hello. I don't mind, Carolyn. You just lay it on me about the differences. It's not going to interrupt any flow. And I have changed the resolution of the monitor. This is the first thing I'm going to mention. My monitor, I've changed it to 2560 to 1440. I do this before I start the game, and it generally helps. If I only change it in the game, when you go into CAS, the top of their head is cut off. So I do it on my monitor display, and I do it in the game. So we're going to start with Pleasant View. So with the Legacy Collection, because that's what I'm playing on now, you will get everything at once, so it can be very, very overwhelming, even for me, because I didn't have all the packs. So we're just going to go a little bit at a time and take it really, really basic. So Sims 2, it is the last in the time chronology when we're talking Sims lore. If I'd thought ahead, I would have started with the earliest, but while it was the second Sims game, in the timeline for the recurring Sims, it is the latest. Sims 4, of course, is in a more alternate timeline, alternate reality. So 1, 2 and 3 are connected to themselves. 3 is the earliest in the timeline. 25 years later is Sims 1, and 25 years after that is Sims 2. And we can tell that by, like I said, returning characters and what ages they are. So this is the menu screen. You load up, you'll get this. It'll default to these 3 towns: Pleasant View, Strangetown, and Veronaville. They were like the base towns you could go to. And then previous successive DLC pack things gave you Belladonna Cove, Desiderata Valley, and River Blossom Hills. I've never had Belladonna Cove or Desiderata Valley. I believe Belladonna is apartment life, and I don't really like playing the apartments because they're very claustrophobic, but you know, maybe I've just got to give it a try. River Blossom Hills was added with the Seasons pack, which gave us weather, which was just such a change, and it was so wonderful for, as you can imagine, for a life sim to suddenly have weather for the first time. None in Sims 1, so that was really great. And also I think it introduced gardening and a certain type of new type of sim you could play, a plant sim. All right, Carolyn, do you do what's easiest for you, and don't have to do it at all. I just, you know, because you would remember what it sounded like before. I think it's a bit hard on the S's, but that's boring. Let's not get into that. I am actually gonna open my window a little bit. It's getting a bit stuffy in here already, and nobody wants me passing out. So hang on just a sec. There we go. Yoink. Oh, I don't know how people do this. I think there are some people with long hair who just plonk the headphones like just on top of their hair, on top of their ears. And I'm like, how do you do that? You can hear it moving around and it feels all scratchy and weird. I'm just like, nope. I'm just going to fiddle with something here. As ever, it is a little bit wonky on the stream. I'm looking forward to the day when I'm a bit more used to things again, and then it will run smoothly. Honestly, I can do smooth. I might not need my secondary my third screen actually, if they've fixed the alt tab issue. Forgive me, I know I'm a bit flappy and all over the place. I'm always like this at the beginning. It'll take me about 20 minutes to settle down, and I'll get there, don't worry, so just bear with me. I'm going to take a risk and close down my laptop. So before, when we streamed Sims 2 last time, I had to have my laptop up because of the Alt-Tab issue, so I could moderate the stream and such. So I'm going to close that, because it is taking up some space. I can just have it on my, sorry I whacked the microphone there, have it on my secondary monitor like usual. Right, so Pleasant View, this is like the OG neighbourhood, the main neighbourhood, the Sunset Valley, if you will, of like at Sims 3, neighbourhood 1 in Sims 1. So you've got a lot of iconic characters there. Strange Town, it's a play on like Area 51. There's not many people there at all, Sims that is to say. Ow. And yeah, I don't like the desert vibe, but there are some interesting characters there. And there's Veronaville, where the characters are based on Shakespearean characters, basically, with it, like the Monties and the Caps representing the Montagues and the Capulets from Romeo and Juliet. We've got characters from Midsummer Night's Dream in there as well, and so that can be pretty fun to play. But I'm going to start with the, I don't want to say canon, but the base one. So let's read. And remember, this is going to be referring back to Sims 1. Sorry, I've got an itchy little nose there. A lot has happened in 25 years, but some new faces in town are stirring up rivalries and creating tension for the once happy families. Can anything be done to get the neighbourhood feeling good again? So, I've already done this, but I'm going to mention it. When you first play a neighbourhood, you're going to click play there. It will load up, and then it will load up all of your things from the expansion packs, basically. So you just wait for that to finish up, and you'll get this little zoom cinematic. Nothing much is going to happen. I just like looking at the trees and taking a breath. I seem to be a little bit heavy on the chest today. Here we go. Excellent. That's a weird place to stop, game, but I like water. Alright, have they updated the edge scrolling? No, I'm still not able to scroll at the edges. This is a problem I am having. Whether it's a common problem for everyone, I don't know. I'm gonna turn down the music if possible. And if anybody can let me know how the music is sounding against my voice, preferably my voice is louder, preferably for me at least. But yeah, I do want you to be able to hear the music and the sound effects as you'd expect. This is the option screen, by the way. You've got your 3 dots, pretty standard, you'll be able to find it there. And you've got your audio options, voices, sound effects, music, ambient, and the quality of the audio. And you can choose this speakers thing. I don't really know what that means, I'm not technical. You can even choose, as you see here in the bottom list, you can turn on and off particular songs. You can turn off the entire hiccup. You can't turn off hiccups, unfortunately, that's the thing. You got all the genres there, and you can like go, oh, maybe I don't like R&B, so I'm going to take away all of the R&B songs like this. And it just won't play it. Which I think is useful, because some of the music can be a bit... The problem is, you don't know what the song you're listening to is called. So how do you know to turn it off? So yeah, you've got the stereo mode, so that's what the Sims will be playing on their stereos. Music from buy mode, build mode, neighbourhood music, and create a family music. So you can pick and choose from all of those. I think you might be able to actually play them. Now I look at it, I've never done this before. We're going to try and play Adam Freeland Busy from the buy mode. Oh, it's that one. Well, there you go. So you can try them all out, and if you don't like them, get rid of them. That's lovely. We have the graphics and performance options. Pretty self-explanatory there. My window size is, that's the resolution thing that I had picked, 2560 and 1440 previously. I can't change it right now. But that's what's working for me in CAS. They still look a little bit stretched out, like vertically, but it's not too egregious. And then you got game options. So I have edge scrolling on, but it's not doing anything. I can turn it off and back on again. I don't know. It's no big deal. I can press the buttons. Sim while minimized. We don't want that on, obviously. A lot of these lot to view options, if you have a lower end computer, it could be worth turning these off because they are a bit more work for your computer. Let's jiggle forward. Oh, everything's jiggling because my monitor is on and on. We've also got the camera options, so you can take pictures when you're in the game. I've not really fiddled around with this, so if you're a camera person, you can do that, I guess. You've got the game tip encyclopedia, which I can imagine would be very useful if you're just starting out. At the top you've got each of the expansion packs. So we've got university, they're probably in order as well, so this will be good. University, nightlife, open for business, pets, seasons, bon voyage, free time, and apartment life. God, really, it's quite heavy images. Sorry, I'm all right. Like I said, I've been fighting something off, but just take some breaths. I never had apartment life or bon voyage. I'm not sure I had free time, which is the last three. So I wonder if I just phased out of playing for a while and didn't get them, rather than choosing not to get them. Who knows? And this last one, you've got the credits. All right, you can go to the main menu and you can quit from this place as well, this section. Neighborhood story, if you want to read that again, which we do because I've already been playing the game, and so this will pop up when you load up the game to give you a bit of flavour and character for the town. Oh, okay. Carolyn says the music can barely be heard. So if we're just gonna wiggle that back up, and yeah, I fiddled around with it because I'm pretty sensitive to lots of noises coming at me, so I tweak it a lot when I'm playing by myself. So what I'm going to do is test the Alt tab and turn it down for me. Ooh, didn't like it, and also didn't Alt tab. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to turn that down. Don't want to be stressed out by noises. Alright, I hope that's better. Thank you for letting me know, Carolyn. Now I want you to, again, bear with me. My alarm just went off, but you might have heard that. And I need to send a message to my mother-in-law to remind her to give the dog her painkillers. So that's obviously important and it has to be done at this time, so that's what I'm doing. She probably has remembered, but it's important that she takes them every day. The dog, not my mother-in-law. I don't even know how to spell that. There we go. All right, sorted, yeah. Dog is away today. Give us a bit of relaxation when we're not very well. Sorted. Where were we? Oh yes, we were tweaking the music. That's done. So we're going to go to the neighborhood story because as a simmer, I'm more about creating stories. If you are a builder type simmer, this probably won't be a very useful stream for you because I'm not really going to go into that very much. I'm not a good builder. That's not my thing. Lots of people out there. You could just Google and YouTube them and it'll be fine. But I'm just letting you know. So, yeah. A lot's happened in 25 years. Mortimer Goth made his fortune. That's this guy on the bottom right here. The Pleasants put down roots and a new generation of Sims was born. So yeah, as you can imagine, Mortimer Goth and the Pleasants appeared in Sims 1. I think, yeah, the Goth family are going to be the most iconic and well known. They are the face of the Sims franchise. And yeah, they first appeared in Sims 1. Okay. All right, Jace, thank you. Sorry, I just called you out if you didn't want to be called out. I do apologise. I'm a little flappy today. Yeah, so in Sims 1 we had adult Mortimer and adult Bella with their child Cassandra, and they lived in a surprisingly small house, because in later iterations they come across as, you know, quite having a lot of money, but as you can tell, that's what happened afterwards. But their house always has a graveyard in it because they're the Goth family. So here they are again. The Pleasants, they appear they're in the bin in Neighbourhood 1. I shouldn't go too much into details of Sims 1. This is about Sims 2, of course, but because I'm a lore person, I am going to talk about them from Sims 1. The Pleasants, they were Jeff and Diane, I'm just remembering now, and their children Daniel and Jennifer. There you go. Now you're all caught up. They basically will go the way you want them to go, so they are still here. Lovely. I do love recurring characters. But the peaceful, happy existence is in jeopardy when some new arrivals to Pleasant View start stirring up trouble, creating rivalries and tensions for all the families in the neighbourhood. Can anything be done to restore the peace to sleepy, idyllic Pleasant View? So you're going to get a story like this for each one you go into. Yeah, just giving you some nice introductions. I think it's helpful. It brings you a little bit closer to The Sims rather than them just being or pre-made I can do whatever with. They have their own lives, you know. Cassandra is ready to start a family of her own, but can she tame the town Casanova? And can Mortimer bounce back after the disappearance of his wife, Bella? Oh, this was killer. So I've played each of the first 3 Sims games when they came out. So pretty invested. And to get your copy of Sims 2 open it up and find out that Bella had disappeared, it was just so... It's not cool, guys. I have heard that she wasn't meant to disappear, but one of the developers accidentally deleted a save file that just completely wiped all her memories and personality. But this could be just a myth. There's a lot of myths going around about that kind of thing. And they just had to write in a story as to why she was gone, which I think is a good way to go about it if you had that kind of accident. So yes, Cassandra here. She was the child in Sims 1. She's still got her glasses and her pigtails, which is a bit interesting for a young woman. But, you know, what you like what you like. In the background, we can see Mortimer playing with chess with a boy. We don't know who this boy is. That's them. They seem to be floating above the house, but I guess that's just for the picture. One hopes. Hi Naraya, I'm glad you could make it. It's going the way my streams usually go at the beginning, where I get all flappy and babble about nothing and then completely change what I was talking about halfway through, and it can't be very enjoyable, but I settle down. Yeah, I did have to swap I did intend to do Sims 1 introduction today, but I suddenly realised I hadn't prepared it at all on my PC. I'd been playing it on my laptop the whole time, and I was like, I can't do that right now. I am not well enough. So we're doing Sims 2 instead. Completely unmodded. We've got the vanilla experience going on here, which would not be the case with Sims 1, because damn. All right, the next page. Was it coincidence that the Caliente sisters arrived on the eve of Bella's disappearance? And is their interest in Mortimer physical or fiscal? You loved setting up the drama. So, okay, she's not in her underwear, just saying. On the left here with the red head, we've got Nina Caliente. That's her bikini, no judgment. And we've got Dina on the right here, the blonde lady. And who is Don Lothario? Is his engagement to Cassandra Goth genuine? And what about the rumour that her mother, Bella, was last seen scaling the deck of his condo? Mystery deepens. So here we've got Don Lothario. He's thinking about Cassandra, who he's engaged to. He's also thinking that he wants some romantic times, maybe with both of the Caliente sisters. I mean, his name is Don Lothario. I mean, Cassandra's kind of set herself up there. I'm sorry. I always thought she was an intelligent lass, but we'll see. Brandy was left to raise 2 boys alone following her husband's suspicious pool ladder accident. With Dustin acting out, can Brandy teach young Beau to make the right choices in life? I think it's a bit early for him to be making choices. You can see he's there he's a toddler. And it's Brandy and Dustin. Now, when you first read this, we first opened up our copy of Sims 2 and such, we didn't realise the link to Sims 1. There is a link, isn't there? But brain like grind trying to work. Yes, I think she's the daughter of Bob and Betty Newby. Wow, that's embarrassing. They're like classic characters, but we're just going to blame my not being very well and being very tired. So Bob and Betty Newby, they are the tutorial family of Sims 1. Again, classic family. And this is their daughter, Brandy. I feel like I have to check that because I'm really paranoid now, and I'd be wildly embarrassed if I was telling you something wrong and this is supposed to be a nice little intro. It still seems really hot. Yes, I'm right, of course. Of course I'm right, it's all okay. Whew. Okay, so Bob and Betty Newby, adults in The Sims 1, remember the chronology of time. Sims 3, Sims 1, Sims 2. So this is the latest. Yeah, and she's had her kids. We didn't meet her before. You can, in Sims 1, have Bob and Betty have a child and call her Brandy. You don't have to, that's your choice. On the surface, Daniel and Mary Sue Pleasant seem to have the perfect life. But is their love a flimsy facade? And can Angela and Lilith make the right choices when it comes to love? There's a lot of choices going on for the younger generations. So, remember from the beginning, we heard about the Pleasants. Here is Daniel, all grown up. He was a child in Sims 1. And Mary Sue here. And their 2 children, Angela and Lilith. And when you go into their household, you find they're very much opposed to each other. As you might be able to tell if you have any knowledge of biblical studies. You got Angela, who's basically a word name for angel, and Lilith, who, depending on the interpretation, was the first demon in the Bible. So you've got them pitted against each other. They do like just picking up names out of random mythologies, which I quite enjoy. And finally, Darren is pursuing his dream of being an artist, while his son Dirk hits the books. And Darren may have found his muse, but will his creativity be enough to win Cassandra's affection? So we've got love triangles all over the place, love squares, love lines, all of the shapes. You see he's painting her there. This is the Dreamer family. They were not in Sims 1, so they are a new addition. And you can see that in the background, Dirk is on the phone to, looks like Lilith, or he's talking about Lilith. So there you get your nice setup. To help you if you're not really I don't really want to make my own sim, you've got some help and something to start you off and where you might want to take the characters. All right, I'm just gonna go through the little HUD thing at the bottom. We've got the nice wheel, the bottom left, that is to say. We've got a day-night toggle. If I could just get rid of that. Gonna go there. Day-night toggle. There. You can click it, and if you want to see it at night, there it is. Lovely jubbly. You have video capture and the camera. So you can take little videos, you can take pictures, which is really good if you want to do machinima or anything like that. Tell your stories. These are camera controls, the plus and minus and the arrows, but you can use your middle mouse wheel, and you should be able to edge scroll when they fix it. I've clicked on the decorations button, So I could add decorations, remove it to this screen, and it will be the same when you go in to a household. You will decorate the lot as you wish. You've got the eyedropper tool here below the hand grabby one. Why I did that, I don't know. You know what hands are. The eyedropper tool is basically copy. So if you've picked a certain design for a bed and you want to do a bunch of beds for some reason, you can click on the eyedropper tool, select the bed, and then you can do an exact copy rather than having to open it up and choose the different kinds of beds. If you hold down Shift when you buy an object, you can set down multiple of the same as well. We have Flora. Again, self-explanatory. We have landmarks we can put down, lots of signs and ugly ass things like that. Effects. I've never, like I said, I'm not a builder in any kind, but you can fiddle around and make the town look how you like them. You can see if you wanted to put down these pink flowers, you would grab it and put it, the box would disappear and you just have some pink flowers lying around. You could have a balloon. You can't see the balloon because obviously it'll be floating in the sky, but yeah, if you wanted to tweak things, there's rocks, big rocks. And this last one, building. So these are flavour buildings, you know, you won't be able to use them or anything. You've even got the crashed UFO, that's from Strange Town that we saw at the beginning, if that's what you wish. Lots and houses. It's a little awkward to, they don't have enough filters basically to be able to find what you need. It's quite annoying. And you have icons here. Again, you hover over them, they're going to tell you what to do, what they do, so should be very easy to figure out on that one. If you click on one, like bulldoze, I'm not going to bulldoze anything, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to bulldoze, just press escape and then you're not wielding that tool anymore. So we have the options of the lots and houses bin, which can be sorted into occupied or unoccupied. Unfortunately, lots, it's all lots, it's commercial and residential. So you end up like having to click on it to see, oh, is this a house or is it a shop? I don't know. It's awkward. You can expand it, of course. You can see the symbols in the top right. They refer to different expansion packs. If it's not there, then maybe it doesn't mean it's always the same. You can see here I've just highlighted Free Time Recreation Centre, obviously from the Free Time expansion pack, but doesn't have an icon, so it's a little hit and miss there. Occupied houses, again, it's a bit of a useless filter because there's only two. We have the cat family, who is introduced in the Unleashed EP, and is a follow-on from a Sims 1 character called Ginnia Cat in Neighbourhood 1, she was an older lady, lived in like a really cosy cottage that was not designed well for your Sims moving about, but really cute looking, and she had her 4 cats. And here we have Tara, who has 3 cats. Well, yeah, a little kitten there. And I think she's a granddaughter or something. And when you click on it, you can see a bunch of things. You've got her surname, the name of the house, how many bedrooms and bathrooms there are. I will say that you can't always go with when it says one bedroom, 1 bathroom. Well, the bathrooms are right, but sometimes it will say like, oh, 1.5 bathrooms or 2+ bedrooms. Sorry, again, I'm flappy. And you'll actually have to go in to really just go, oh, actually that's just 1 bedroom, isn't it? You're stretching it a little bit. So not totally helpful, but it gives you an idea. The cost, the funds of the house, the lot size, you've got 3x3, and then you've got the little intro written down about her. And we also have the Kim family. They will just be sitting there. So if you take a fancy to them, or just like throw in every sim from the bin to populate your worlds, make them a bit more dynamic, totally understandable. The Kim family were, I believe, introduced in, I think that was Unleashed as well. Yeah, because I mean they're specifically here with a dog and a cat. that usually means they were from Unleashed. You can then click on Unoccupied, and then you get all of the community lots and houses that you could put down. So if I wanted to put this house down, I could just make sure it was green. You can see the shadow around the house, it's green at the moment, but if I were to take it over up to this hill, it goes red, you can't put it there. But yeah, you can pick and choose whichever houses you want to plonk down and do so. Speciality lots, I'm not quite as familiar with this, but it looks mostly like, it looks like they're all mostly from the same, this is apartments. Okay, a speciality lots, apartment life. Good to know, that's why I didn't recognise it. I didn't have apartment life back in the day. You can always go to this empty square saying empty lots, and you put down, just grab one, and you put down this shadow, and you basically have an empty area you can build your own house with. And you have beach lots, but they're very specific to where you can put them down. They have to, I'm not entirely sure. It might just be Bon Voyage. I'm not sure because I didn't do that one. Bear with me. I'm going to have to send out for, because I don't have it here, send out for something. Hang on. Yeah, my headache's getting a bit, so I'm sending out for a painkiller. Okay, and the dog has had her painkillers, so we are all good. So that's the lots area. That's if you're a building sort of sim. What are you doing here? Yeah, you want to go for empty lots. The building gimmick. No, right. I know you enjoy your building in Sims 4. I'm so the worst person to ask about building stuff, but I will do my best. I don't know what you would class as good. Coming from Sims 4, I guess you would probably call them poor because it is a much earlier game. It gets the job done. I get very easily frustrated with things like foundations and stairs and pools for some reason. So I'm afraid I'm not very good to ask about that. But yeah, just giving it a go really. And finally, the biggest circle is in families, because that's what it's all about. The Sims families, or households as I prefer to call them. So we've got this first icon. I'm doing this in a terrible order and I do apologise. We've got Send Sims to College, which if you're not American, that means university. So you would click on that, and you can, I've never done this bit before, so I'm not talking about this like I'm an expert. It's just a little bit of my experience if someone's interested. So you can have a list of the teens in this town and the add-ons, which I will get into in a minute, and you could send them off to university and create one house for them all to live in. I didn't know you could do that, so we are learning together. There's going to be things like that because like I said, 3 of the expansion packs didn't even have them. You've got Move Family. So if you want to move an entire household rather than just like 1 or 2 Sims, you would click that button, select the house, and they would be dumped into the family bin, which is the screen at the bottom here. You've got create a Sim here, create a new family. God. Sorry. No, it's all right. I've not like got asthma or something. It's just a bit unwell. And we've got a bunch of families ready to play down here because not everyone's into like making their own Sims. And you know, some of these might catch your fancy. They were all introduced from certain expansion packs and meant to showcase what to do with them. So that could also be helpful as a kind of tutorial for those things. I'm not going to pick any of those. We are going to make our own because we are showing things from scratch. But you can see we have a range of different ones, and you can also delete. Oh look, he looks like a giant. Oh no. Here comes Sid. I can't remember the Sims name, I only remember the dog's name. Awkward. Yeah, so something I forgot to say when I should have. So you've opened up your game, the loading has happened, you've got your main menu, you pick a town, it loads up, it loads all your expansion goodness, and I can't remember if the story comes first, but before or after the story bit, it will pop up and say there are like unconnected neighborhoods or something like that. And you just following the prompts, you'll be all right. But you can go up to this top left menu, and so the first, we've got the main menu. So that's absolutely fine. I've just lost my ability to speak. I'm going to have some water. So the 3 buttons to the left of the main menu, these will all have plus signs next to them when you first load up the game. And when you click on them, you can see this one says Shopping District Chooser. You will basically have an option to add a neighbourhood. The Blue Water Village is the default one. So generally you could just click on Blue Water Village, click the play button, and it will attach that neighbourhood to Pleasant View or whichever town you are playing. Yes, I saw that you were playing The Sims as well, Naraya. That was going to be confusing. You can make your own custom shopping district. So you would go into that, and I'm not going to go there first. We're going to try and do some gameplay. You click on that, it would give you a selection of maps. Pick the one you want. You can edit the maps, the terrain, anything. That you can put down whatever community lots you want to add and make it your own, give it your own name. Like I said, I'm not a builder, so I just created Blue Water Village. The next one is the Downtown Chooser. The default, will be downtown. Again, just click on it, click play, it will attach it to the neighborhood. These are places that your Sims can travel to by taxi or by car. Again, you can create your own, this is nightlife destination. So this will generally always be nighttime. And it's where they're going to go to have a bit of a party out and about. And then you've got the College Chooser, it's called University. I'm calling it University. There are 3 default universities you could go for. I picked Sim State University because this is Pleasant View and it just went together. There's also one called La Fiesta Tech, which is a more desert-based area, so I attached that to Strangetown, which, as we saw at the beginning, is a desert area. And then the third one, the name's escaping me, but I attached that one to Veronaville. It allows the different towns to feel a bit more their own when it's not exactly the same attached neighbourhoods. I'm not going to remember what that is. L'Académie de Tours. Yeah. So the university it's off by itself. Time back home, it's always frozen when you go off lot. So when your teen, might be skipping ahead, but I'm just picking bits and pieces. When your teen is about to age up into an adult or a young adult, whatever. I said that wrong. It's too hot here still. When your teen is about to age up into an adult, you can send them to university. That would age them up to a young adult, which is basically another life stage, but it only occurs at university. Then you go through all the university shenanigans, hopefully pass, then come back with more skills, and you get a boost to certain careers depending on what degrees you chose and that kind of thing. Yeah, and then you come home. So that's that. All right, the other buttons, again, it's information for other packs. You've got the Vacation Destination Chooser. Can't tell you anything about that because I never had it, but I'm looking forward to trying it one day. All right, like I said, this is, I'm not sure if I said, maybe I said it in my head. It's so awkward when that happens, isn't it? You're sure you said it out loud and you realise it was just in your head, and How are you supposed to keep up with things like that? Hang on, I think I'm a bit wonky. Okay. We are going full basics here. I don't want to pick, there's a reason why I'm not going to pick some of the pre-mades even though it would be faster, because in Sims 2, for all of them, I'm pretty sure for all of them, you are thrown into their story. Something is happening in that household when you load it up. You'll often get a cinematic. There's quite a few cinematics in Sims 2. And it'll encourage you to do things, and that'll get you into the flavour of the household. I might do those at a later date, but I don't want to trigger them just yet because we want to get very basic. So we are going to start with create a sim. And yes, I should have prepared ahead, but you should know by now that's not going to happen. Create a new family. Here we go. All right, while that's loading up, I am going to go see, I'm going to get myself a painkiller because this is not working out for me. I'll be right back. Alright, totally forgot the camera was on. I hope I didn't do anything embarrassing. Right, painkiller achieved. Window is wide open. Hopefully we'll be able to continue for a little bit longer. How long have we been going? Oh my goodness, how have we been going that long already? Sims is a time suck, even if you're just talking about it. So here we have the create a sim. Oh man, I'm gonna be real basic. The surname will be Sim. You have to give them a surname first. You've got limited capabilities when you're in this menu. You might, if you suddenly want to change resolutions or something, you probably would have to come out. Create a sim, so you click on the little simmy icon. It's got a little head and shoulders with a plus on it. You can see that you can choose to create a sim, to create a dog, or create a cat. And there's one that's slightly grayed out, which says make a child. So if you have a male sim and a female sim that you've created, that button becomes available. You can click on it and it will generate a child sim, an offspring that uses traits from the parents. So there is a mild genetics being handed down. So the child will look like it. Because otherwise you would have to just make the child and try and make it look like them. So it's just a bit of a shortcut. But we're just going to create a sim to start off with. We're being very basic. Doing a lady because I am basic. I'm going to call her Isadora just because I'm like, it will take ages for me to pick names for Sims, but the name of some makeup I have over there is Isadora, so could have used this one and called her Labello, but that sounds vaguely rude. This is the blackberry lip balm that makes me kind of want to eat it. Anyway, we've got two icons at the top. We've got randomize, so we could make Isadora, here's a random sim. We could also choose an existing sim. Now, I'm not quite sure what this means, whether if we choose them, they might have a clone wandering around already, or whether this is just pre-mades. So if you click on that, and it says sim bin, but these are not from the families at the beginning that we showed you. So yeah, you could choose one of these sims instead. It really gives you a lot of options for if you're not into making your own sim, or you just don't have the inspiration for it. Collections. Oh, I don't know what that is. So we've got male or female, and we've got the different life stages. So I'm just going to spam her a little bit. Give me a sec. Generally you want to tweak them just in case there's someone out there who looks exactly like your sim and it gets a bit eerie. Also they can, townies can end up looking a bit weird. If you could stop smiling, they always smile, it's so frustrating. You want to know what their face looks like, you know, just normally, and they're just like, not the creepy smiles from Sims 4, these are just regular smiles. Yeah, I've seen it, it looks horrifying. They all look like they're begging for escape. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. So if she was a teenager, she'd look like that. When she was a child, she'd look like that. And then when she was a toddler, boom, there she is. And going all the way the other end, we could make her an elder, and there she is. We're going to start with an adult because we want her to make some money. I think you can make teenager households, but I would have to look that up. I've never tried it myself, and it sounds like you shouldn't be able to. It sounds like the social worker should come and pick them up because no one's taking care of them. But I believe I've seen a pre-made family that's teenagers and children and toddlers, so I could be wrong there. Let me know if you do know. What are the numbers for? Which numbers are we talking? No, I'm not seeing any numbers. Probably on a previous screen. I am slightly ahead of the chat, everything you're looking at. Okay, we have 4 skin tones. There is custom skins. Obviously, there's loads of mods and CC for Sims 2. If you're not liking the basic, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to go with this kind of tan. Everybody's pretty pale, to be honest. You don't get a great range of skin colours, unfortunately. And you have fitness. Your fitness is your body shape. So this is the basic body shape. This was released in, I wrote it down, 2004. So this is what people thought women should look like then. Of course, we feel a bit more, we like a bit more range these days, but here we go. On the side of the age and skin tone thing. Oh, okay, so number 1, this is step 1. You choose their name, their age, their gender, their skin tone, and their fitness levels. And as we go down, there's going to be things like hair and clothes and personality. I am going to go for unfit, just because I think she actually looks healthier this way. Step 2 is heads. If you want to, again, have a pre-made head, there's so many options for pre-mades. It's very useful. You can pick one of these. You could pick one of these and then tweak it afterwards as well. I think she looks okay. Gonna leave her like that. Step 3 is hair and face. So here we've got your 4 basic hair colours in The Sims: black, brown, blonde and red. You have an option for custom. Now it's not got anything, and this isn't necessarily CC. You pick their base hair colour, and then when you get into the game you can change their appearance, and then they can have a more wacky, like, dyed hair colour instead. So we're gonna leave her with black hair. We have hair per outfit. So if you didn't want to fiddle around with this, keep it as is. Pick a hairstyle you like. I like the hairstyle, but because it was basically a hairstyle I used to have. But I start with their hair tied up out of the way of their face, because it helps with, sculpting their features when I'm feeling like being really fiddly with it. Sometimes I just want to whack one out and play the game. Sometimes I'm really fiddling around. And I'll come back and change to a hairstyle I like. If you click on the set hair per outfit, you can then choose what their hairstyle would be for everyday, for formal wear, underwear, PJs, swimwear, athletics and outerwear. So that's nice and particular. I will come back and do this. We've got full face tweaks. Again, you can change her face by using one of these pre-mades. A lot of them are are weird. It's a no from me, to be honest. I still think like it's wonky. And then you can see all of the different ways you can tweak their faces. You can make their cheeks more fat or more skinny. You can make their jaws wider or thinner, their ears bigger. You know what I mean. You know what facial sliders are. It's been done. If I'm not in a tweaking mode, the tweaking is usually if I have a like a picture of a particular character I literally want to make them, and I'll have the picture up and then I'll be tweaking. But generally these days it's not as big a deal for me. I do always use this one it says face short or long, so I always raise the face until the eye level is around about the top of the ears. I look like I'm slouching, but I'm not. It's just because my t-shirt's black and my chair is also black, and my chair is also squeaky. Anyway, I got distracted then where it happens, because I think you find if you go to the corner of your eyes and kind of draw a line, a really accurate line, you hit the top of your ears. You're not down here. So I pull them up and they look a bit more normal. Sometimes I'll change their ears, sometimes like here, they're weirdly small ears. So that's fine. I will showcase the ridiculous lengths to which they took these sliders. So this is going to be painful. So let's go for making her face really gaunt. I mean, that's mummification, surely. No one is going to be like, yes, that's what I want my sim to look like, unless they're, doing a kind of meme thing. If you make a mistake, or like you're using the sliders and by increments and you can't remember exactly where it was, and there is a undo, and now she's all normal again. But yeah, you can make some weird ass looking sims. Brow. So again, we've got some default eyebrows. I'm going to make her eyebrows thicker, like that. Unfortunately, if I don't have a template to work from, my sims generally end up looking the same. Yeah, right? Extreme. So let's say we want to go full arched eyebrow. That's not that bad. You're like, okay, it's a strong arch, but she just looks vaguely villainous. That's fine. It's the facial ones you want to be careful with. I don't want her to look too villainous. So I'm arching that a little bit. You can, it's just a left mouse click, left and hold and turn. I want her, I'd like her forehead to be a little bit more rounded. Don't know why, just do. There we go. And then we've got eyes. We have 5 eye colours. It's not like The Sims 3 where you could be like red and gold and got all a bit crazy. We've got brown, light blue, dark blue, grey and green. I don't know why blue gets 2. You'd think there'd be a hazel in there, although hazel's quite difficult to do, but blue not being so common in humans, we kind of expect it to be represented that way. But these are Sims. They are human adjacent. And apparently blue eyes, pretty big with the Sims. Yes, indeed, there are a lot of options. If you're a character creating sort of person, Jace is right. I'm going to go with green eyes. Green eyes, best eyes, just saying. And as ever, I'm going to make her eyes a bit bigger. Let's pull the slider all the way to the big. There we go. This is fine. This was like somebody sat there in the room when somebody might want to make a sim with eyes that's so large they stick out the side of their head. You don't know. We better put it in. It's wild. We're not going to do that to her. This isn't a meme stream. There. And what else do? I often do the rotate eyes. And then I make the eyes a bit further apart. And yeah, that looks good. She's got very heavy lids. I like it. You can move the eyes up and down separate to the brows, or you can move them up and down with the brows. I'm going to bring them down a little bit closer to the nose. I just think it looks a bit more realistic. She looks a bit weird, but it's a sim. What are you going to do? Nose. I quite like her nose, actually. I'm a big fan of the Roman nose, which is that bold, you know, with this, I guess you could call it a bit of a large nose with a bit of a very gentle curve. It looks quite small from the front. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm going to drop down the nose a little bit. Nose up or down. Just a little bit. I can overdo it sometimes. Shall we make the nose as small as it can go? Let's do that. Boop. And now we have a Githyanki. Yeah, sudden Baldur's Gate reference. Who knew? Great, now I want to make Lae'zel. Oh dear. No, I'm not going to do that. That's for another day. All right, I think her nose is fine. You kind of get the picture with the sliders. I'm going to bring her mouth up a little bit towards her nose. Don't ask me why. And make her mouth a little bit wider. Not that wide. I'm not a big fan of her upper lip, which seems like a weird thing to say. Yeah, it's not. I might use one of the preset ones. The problem is the mouth, when you're looking at it there, you're like, they look perfectly reasonable. Then you put it on and it's like on the end of her chin or something. Yeah, that's gone down too far. Can I pull it up and have her look human? Not human. Yeah, I can pull it up to there, but I don't like it. It's left a bit of a jowly impression. So we'll try another one. They're much lower because I pulled the face up. It's expecting it to be down here. That's on me. Oh, it's frustrating though. Are they all going to be like that? All right, let's just work with what we have because it's freaking me out at this point. I'm not liking it though. I'm not liking it. Oh well, let's not read too deeply into it. I'm going to bring it down a bit more. Make it slightly thinner, just so you know. If I go silent, I'm going to focus too much. I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be streaming. All right, I'm also going to put a little bit of a mouth corner up, just so she looks cheerful. And finally, we have the jaw and chin. So I'm going to pull the chin up a little bit and turn it to the side and push the chin out further without moving the entire jaw. There we go. I also want to pull up the jowliness. I think that's at the top here, like that. She's looking a bit too like skinny at the bottom of her face. She says, making the chin smaller. I am gonna go for more of a square jaw. That's better. Still not happy about the chin, but you don't want to make a perfect sin, do you? Oh, my head. All right, we're gonna leave it at that. Makeup, facial hair, and glasses. Females are not permitted facial hair. No dwarves here. So at the top, we've got jewellery. Jewellery can be a bit of a problem if you go for bracelets or necklaces. It can often clip through. You can set what jewellery you want them to wear per outfit, but I don't really want to fiddle around. I'll give her some earrings because I like earrings. Not a great selection, you just got some hoops and some studs, you know, but again, we have CC. I'm going to give her these dangly green ones for now. Boop, boop, boop. There. And maybe a ring. I only wear silver, darling, so let's pick the white on white. There. That does not look good, does it? That's not on properly at all. We've got a bit of AI hand problem here. That's terrible. Why is it off centre? Yeah, she can't wear that. It looks ridiculous. Okay, what about the little finger? No, they're off. Okay, no rings because something's gone wrong. No rings because they don't remember where your fingers are. The extras, that this will be things like nose nose piercings, lip piercings, and eyebrow piercings. They managed to find where the nose is at least. I might get an eyebrow one. Not a bar. Not. I don't like the ones with the balls on them, but it looks like that's the only option, so we'll just go without. Makeup. Makeup is interesting with how much you've got. You've got like loads and loads of lipsticks compared to, say, eyeshadows. I don't know why. I don't know that we need too much. Give us some smoky eye. And I always find their lips are a bit washed out, so that you can find colours that look natural and give them a bit of colour without looking like they're wearing lipstick particularly. Like that one's not too bad. Some of them are obviously a little more intense. We've even got an ice blue. We've got beige for some reason. Don't give you Sims beige lips. It makes me feel sad. I do like this dark. I know. You're not supposed to have dark makeup and dark lips. It's not right, darling. It's not right. But she's a Sim. She can do what she wants. The colours don't always look like what you would expect. So worth clicking through, giving them a try. Like that grey looks a bit pink to me. And again, that brown looks pink. It kind of suits her, the winged look. Although I always like this just because it's different. We'll go for the winged. You also have costume makeup. I guess maybe if that's you're making particular characters, or if you're in game and there's a particular event you want to change their look, you might pick these things. There's clowns and mimes and war paint and masks. We're not going to do that just now. Glasses, we have shades, we have goggles, and just regular glasses. And then you can choose eyebrow style. There is just your regular eyebrows. You've got highly plucked, like so, and you've got thick. I do like the thick eyebrow. What do we reckon? Thick or not thick? I think thick's a bit intense considering we've already given her dark makeup, so we're going to leave on the regular one. Step 5 is clothing. So you've got each outfit choice on the left. You've got everyday, formal, undies, PJs, swimwear, athletic, and outerwear. And here you can choose whether you want them to have a top and bottom or an outfit, which is basically, it's an all-in-one, which I believe that was added later. I don't think it was in the base game. We don't have much of an idea of her personality yet, so we're just gonna pick an outfit that I like. We don't know what season it is. I have played this town before, so time will have moved forward because I think they start in summer, so I couldn't tell you. All right, so clothing in The Sims. It still looks a bit wonky to me. Am I just having a moment? Okay. You will pick their clothing here. That will be the clothing they have in their wardrobe. You cannot go to their wardrobe and you can just choose whatever again. You will have to take them to a shopping location, browse for clothes and pay for them, basically. And I believe it's 200 simoleons each, like per outfit, which frustrates me because I like to have them change their outfit for each season. And when you're starting out, you might not have much money. I've just realised why it was quieter than usual. Bear with me. I turned it down because the music was really loud at the beginning, but okay. Let me know if I've just made it too loud, the game music that is. Yes, so just have that in mind that you want to pick the outfits you like because you might not have enough money to spend on clothes when you get into the game for a while. So here we got a selection. A lot of these are still fairly new to me. We've got very 2000s punk. We'll have styles that just have different colours. A very interesting range. And also boring, depending on what you want to roll with. You can even put them in a little pinafore for some reason. We've got some nice... Oh, I quite like that for her. Oh, I'm not a puffy sleeve fan though. Picky, picky, picky. Yeah, like I said, we don't know her personality just yet. Okay, now we're back to ones I'm more familiar with. No. I've got to find something. I'm so picky about clothes. This is just too true to real life. Bear with me. This feels like such a huge selection from my recollection of playing the base game, and each time you got an expansion pack you got more clothes and it was like, oh wow, look at these, and the clothes just got nicer and nicer. And because of my tendency to roleplay, create the stories, I don't like putting them in a really like rich fancy outfit at the beginning unless I'm playing a particular character, and then I'm like using money cheats to make sure it's fulfilling the right image. Ooh. The only thing that leapt out at me so far was the one with the puffy sleeves. I am quite partial to this one, but it looks a little bit smart for now when we're just moving in. Who knew this would be where I take the longest time? I quite like that one. Not sure it really fits her though. I'm not going to find anything, then I'm going to have to do this all again with the top and bottom set. I'm terrible. It's because I came into it and I didn't have an idea of her character. Otherwise I'd be like, yeah, she'd wear this. Very, very lax of me. But we've had things going on over here. Okay, top and bottoms. They do like the, it's not like a literal crop top so much. It's more like you see here, there's a gap. Like, hello belly. I don't know why. Guess it was a thing back then. I will find something eventually. I quite like that one. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Then her personality will come to me and I'll be like, oh no, she wouldn't wear that. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. No, it's not right. I'm so sorry. Who knew this would happen? That makes her a bit too chunky on the shoulders there. I know, I've gone back to the beginning. I quite like that, except for the weird knee gap. Like I said, I want to pick something I'm okay with because, you know, it's expensive. Alright, shall we just go back to the only one I've reacted to so far? We'll go with this for every day. I'm then going to go with outerwear. Some of them I'm like, this is just a jumper and smart trousers. This is not protecting me from snow. I'm not wearing that. Silliness. Depends how cold we feel it is. We'll just go with that for now, because I took too long picking the main outfit. Exercise. I'm not sure I'd want to exercise in a dress. This feels like tennis only outfit. If you're doing anything more bendy, this would not be a good choice. Oh, mind my alarm. Boop. That one works. Although, wouldn't that ring like sit on your clavicle a bit? Getting picky. I'll leave her on that. Some swimwear. I've always been partial to this one, but not for her. I think she might like pink. Bit of hot pink. What do we reckon? Yeah, we'll go for a bit of hot pink. Pajamas. I'm not putting her in. Nobody sleeps in their dressing gown unless they've just passed out. I do like these kind of silky long pajama sets. I think they look quite luxurious. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Underwear, again, not likely to be wearing a dressing gown underneath clothes, even Sims. You know, they've got to draw a line. Purple. Oh, that is a lovely purple. We'll go with that. And finally, some formal wear. So Sims will throw parties and they can set formal wear or not formal wear, I think. Sometimes the games blur into one big game. So I do apologise if suddenly I've said something and it's like, oh, actually, that's just Sims 3. And if I do say something wrong, you should absolutely call it out, because nobody wants to go through life with incorrect information. Better to be wrong and find out than just be wrong and be an idiot forever. This is quite nice, actually. I think, well, it's mostly the colour. So, yeah, if you're thinking, oh, I want my sim to get married in a traditional dress, you're going to want to set it here. But maybe this isn't what you'd want to wear if you were invited to a formal party and it wasn't a wedding. You'd be like, who's the weirdo in the wedding dress, you know? So we won't go for that. This is some beautiful colours. But I don't think that dress is quite right for her. What about this red? No, not the red. I like the colour, but again, it's this high waist and I'm not feeling it. That looks a bit stereotypical. What about this rather racy version? I quite like it. She looks pretty fierce. The pink though, isn't it? Imagine turning up in that. You're like, yeah, I'm pulling it off. No, that's not right. I do like that they have some medieval dresses in there. If you want to like role play a bit of a medieval sim household, dropped in time. I think we're going to go with this one. I'm getting a sense, something about clothes really gives you a sense of her character. Which is why it's so frustrating if you're not, like in real life, not able to buy the clothes that you feel represent you. Because you're just then like advertising the wrong person. A lot of people can be like, well, oh, it's just clothes, but no, it's an impression you're giving off. Like, who am I? And if it's wrong, sorry, it's my own personal thing. I'm going to go back to hair and face now because, as I said, we just tied her hair up out of the way so we could sort her face. I think she's rather lovely. Just saying. I always make very pretty Sims because I just like pretty people, pretty things. What are you going to do? So when it's winter, we want to... I did the little shiver in case you didn't know that it gets cold in winter. Damn, I really want a cup of tea. Didn't have the time. Okay, I don't think we're going to go for beanie. Cuts through a bit. I definitely wanted to have a warm hat. When you live in a country where it gets pretty cold in winter, you suddenly are like, make sure she has a nice fuzzy hat on. Maybe some earmuffs as well. Oh, not pink and red. Nope. And she's got teeny weeny little... You always want to turn them around when you put like hats on and things because you don't know what's lurking in the back. You could have created a sim that just has a buzz cut, then you put a hat on them and you're like, yeah, turn them around and they've got a flowing ponytail. It's just like, is that what we want? So you're seeing some interesting options here. You can make some very interesting looking sims. I don't like her earrings look like they're popping out the back there. You've got a nice veil if you want to create that wedding look. You've got some chef's hats. You have some helmets if you want to go full medieval. If you want to dress up as a gorilla or something. Lots of options for wackiness. I'm a very boring Sims player. I don't do memes, I don't kill people horrifically, I don't make wonderful architecture. I just plonk around. I bet most people actually play like me, but the people are more vocal on the internet. Maybe not so much. Yeah, I think this one's good. So athletic. So let's pick her base hairstyle, the one that we'll be seeing most often. Okay, she's starting to remind me of my previous stepsister a little bit. I do like this hair on her. What do you reckon? Do you think that looks nice? The first one seems a bit wrong, doesn't it? Like you have to go through all of them just to make sure. I think it looks nice, but I start second guessing myself. Again, we've got some builders' hats. Who's out there making Sims with builders' hats on? I don't know. I think we're going to go with that. Excuse me. Yeah, okay, so she does have long hair. We have confirmed. So when she's exercising, she's probably not going to go fancy like that. She's just going to want to shove it back. She had a bit of a fringe, so maybe one of these would be good. I'm going to turn it so we can see the colour of the hairband, because detail is what it's about. We know that her athletic outfit was kind of blue indigo, so black could do fine, but matchy matchy. Yeah, I'm going to go with black there. And my Sims always turn out to have very swan necks. This is her swimwear. So maybe a more slicked back hair. And she could tie it up, but would it stay up? When your hair's long, it kind of drags. Used to have very, very long hair. If you tied it up and went swimming, it just kind of sagged down. It wasn't so great. That doesn't look long enough, but maybe. What about this one? This is implying just, you know, her fringe just got pushed back a bit. Could go for that, yeah, we'll go for that. PJs. Hair down, it's fine. Undies, hair down. And formal hair. We kind of got used to this hairstyle, but I think I'm going to have a look around. How is she with this? Can't zoom out very far. I think we used to be able to. No, I'm not feeling that. This is just slightly styled version of her regular hair. I've got such a tickle just by my nose, it's not good. What about a plait? No, it just looks boring. I'm not feeling it. What if she curled her hair a bit? Wiggled it. Yeah, she's going to have wiggly hair when she's wearing her formal outfit. And back to everyday. So we've done the facial hair? No, we've done the makeup and glasses, we've done her clothing. Now, step 6, this is what it's all about. Personality and aspiration. This is going to govern who she is. There is an option, I didn't highlight it, but there is an option for free will on or off. It is a lot more fun if it's on. You want them to have a mind of their own. They can be vastly frustrating, but it gives them more character than if they just stand there like a doll because you haven't told them to do anything yet. It's just like, feels awkward. Oh, let me just handle this. Boop. Yes, so personality, you can click a zodiac sign. The zodiac signs do fulfill a purpose rather than just being a flavour. There is a attraction system. And when I say attraction, I don't generally just mean like romantic attraction. I mean just friendship attraction, like certain signs like certain other signs and don't like signs. And so there's a lot going on there, and it's asymmetrical relationships. So your sim could really like a sim who didn't like them, which obviously more realistic. I like it. So you could just pick one of those and go with a preset, or you can fiddle around a bit. Down here we have our options that go. We have sloppy to neat, shy to outgoing, lazy to active, serious to playful, and grouchy to nice. So, sorry, I'm just going to touch the microphone. Sorry if it makes noises. I'm torn between wanting to make a sim that would be useful by themselves, like make them really neat, then they would clean up all the time, you know. And you're like, or shall I make the sim that spoke to me when we were giving her clothes, which sounds weird. She didn't start without clothes. Changing her clothes, oh, it's all bad. And as always, character is winning out. So she is of average neatness. Now, this isn't going to be helpful. I don't know if it's the same in Sims 2, so I am going to put that as a caveat. In Sims 1, you had things where like certain Sims could learn skills faster than other Sims. I don't know why they would take it out, but you never know. So if you had like a really active Sim, they would be able to build their body skill faster, that kind of thing. I don't know if that's still going. If anybody knows, please tell me, because it is a cool mechanic. I'm going to probably go for average. Average activity levels. Oh, I don't have enough points. Playful is much more... She just doesn't come across as... maybe make her a bit less active. She doesn't come across as shy to me. But also not like... I want to go out being sociable all the time. Maybe more playful. I'm making the most average ass I can see. Lazy. So if you hover over the names of each personality trait, if you want to call it that, it will describe it to you as well. There's a lot of things you can just hover over and get more information. So lazy Sims have been known to veg out on the couch for hours on end, so naturally they don't need much sleep to sustain their constant lazing. They still enjoy socialising with other Sims and can be persuaded to get out of the house once in a while. So that's letting you know that lazy Sims don't need as much sleep. That's useful. You'd think, oh, lazy, that's bad. But, you know, you read the flavour text, it's going to give you a bit of knowledge. Outgoing Sims are likely to jump headfirst into any situation. Charm and confidence are their best traits, and when they're in a friendly mood, they enjoy group activities most of all. Keep an eye on these characters though. Outgoing Sims can be too brash, and others aren't always so impressed. So you could think, oh, I know that you need to make friends to move ahead in your career. Excuse me a second. I've got a really thick carpet under the chair, so it's difficult to pull it forward. So I'm going to make a really outgoing Sim so they, make lots of friends. But here we can see, can be over the top. You can be too in their face. So always good to read this kind of thing. If you're new to the game, it can really give you a little bit of knowledge on where you want to balance this out. Then again, you don't really want to make a Sim where everything is average, because it's a bit meh. And there's probably some kind of downside to it. Got to balance these things out. I'm going to make her... That being said, I've just made a really average Sim. She's averagely everything. We'll leave it for that because she is just our tutorial character. Sorry, Isadora. So, now aspiration. We'll go into more of what this means as we go along, because it's easier that way. We have 6 aspirations. This is what drives your Sim beyond, just your physical motivations and your need for food and rest and cleanliness. This is the next tier of wants, is your aspiration. So we have pleasure. I will read these out. There's only 6 of them. Yes. Sims with the pleasure aspiration love wild nights out, cozy nights in, and what most Sims would consider the good life. They'll want to use objects that provide them with fun and comfort, while avoiding activities that cause stress or equate to work of any kind. Kick their aspiration meters into the platinum by pursuing their whims of the moment, as these Sims can change their tastes on a dime as they travel on their path to the ultimate life of luxury. Again, so important to read the text so you understand what it really means, because you could be like, oh, pleasure, that just means they want to have fun, and make your interpretation of what that means, and it's not always exact. It's got high scoring aspirations below it. So here's some examples of things they will want. Basically, you hover over it. One of the examples is ask Sim on a date. This will give them 750 aspiration points and 500 influence points. I know this is starting to sound a little bit more complicated, but we will look more into that when we are finished in this screen. So I won't read out all of these numbers. Numbers can make you glaze over, I know. Next is the family aspiration. Sims with the family aspiration long to be part of a big happy family. They need quality time with family members and lots of meaningful interactions with all the branches of their family tree. Keep their aspiration meters overflowing with familial bliss and they'll live long and fruitful lives. And examples of things they would want are get engaged, get married, have a baby, teach a baby to walk, probably their baby, not just a random baby, and teach someone to, have a grandchild as well. So things like that. The romance aspiration is not named quite how I would have named it, but I understand why they went that way in order to keep it a bit more PG. But when you hear the description, you'll probably understand. Sims with the romance aspiration crave lots of lovin' with as many different Sims as they can find, so setting aside the time for them to chase these hot prospects is key. Fill their aspiration meters with hot, steamy nights and lust-filled days in order to keep romance Sims' lives long and exciting. Things they want to do is kiss, have multiple lovers, woohoo. If you're new to The Sims, woohoo means exactly what you think it means. For some reason, it's a kid's game, they can't just put sex. And similarly, they've called it romance aspiration. This does not equal romance. Let's remember that. Yeah, I mean, they could never put it in a game that they are marketing partly to kids as lust aspiration, but the description is right there, For some reason, they also really want to join the slacker career, so they have more time to get lustful. Next is the knowledge aspiration. Sims with the knowledge aspiration want to know everything there is to know about anything. Make sure they have the time to study and explore every nook and cranny. Their lives are a simple equation. The more knowledge, the higher the aspiration meter, and the longer and brainier the life. They'll want to do things like see a ghost, meet aliens, maximize a skill, reach the top of the science career, this kind of thing. Fortune aspiration. Sims with the fortune aspiration crave money, rising to the top of their careers, and just plain expensive stuff. They'll need all of these things in spades to keep their aspiration meters full and their fiscally minded lives long and happy. Things they like is getting a bonus at work, marrying a rich Sim, earning lots of money. Pretty clear, that one. And finally, we have the popularity aspiration, which when I'm playing by myself, I never pick it. There are some parts of you, I think, that will always bleed into your video games, and I don't want to... Oh, I did already. Okay. Sorry, slight distraction. Yeah, I don't want to go around meeting loads of people, Sim or otherwise. Anyway, popularity aspiration could be useful though, because you do need friends in your careers to get promotions for some weird reason. Sims with the popularity aspiration desire flocks of friends and killer parties. Not killer parties, this isn't some weird horror genre. So if they aren't on the phone practicing politics or dancing the night away, they probably should be. Their aspiration meters will fill with every friend, fair weather or not, and allow them to live long and famous lives. Things they would like to do: have a great party, have 3 best friends, sell a masterpiece, that's a bit out of left field, win a fight. Some of them are a bit odd, but it's The Sims, it's supposed to be quirky and odd. And finally we come to, we didn't actually pick an aspiration for her. I went deadly silent there. I'm going to have her be family aspiration. So there is a family tree function, and I'm an aspiring genealogist. Having a family tree in anything is exciting for me. So the idea of creating a big dynasty, that's where I'm at. That's why I like Crusader Kings as well. Bit weird, but there we go. We've got turn-ons and turn-offs. I never really know what to do because they seem quite limiting, but don't feel that your sim is boxed in by these. You're not forced to only be with people. It'd just be easier if they had these traits. So I think she would like a partner who is not a vampire or wears costume makeup. I think she wants some of the first bunch of the turn and turns off is physical, appearance based, and then at the end you've got more what are they good at in their lives, what are they interested in, that kind of thing. So it's nice to have, I like to have one of each. I'm going to have jewellery, which isn't going to help her out because I don't think any of the NPCs wear jewellery. And at the other end, hard worker sounds good. Logical, charismatic, you could a great cook, you could even like an unemployed person, which is nothing wrong with that. No judgment. Good at cleaning, you could just be really into people who like cleaning. Or you could like zombies. It's The Sims, no one's judging you here. I'm going to go for a hard worker because I just feel like she's not going to, I think she seems a bit too fun. She's very distracted, easily distracted. Not like anyone I know. Turn off, you get 1 turn off, 2 turn ons, 1 turn off. It's easy to just go with, well, nobody wants somebody to smell, but I don't know. Who knows? I wouldn't want to put grey hair because then they'll go off their spouse when they get to a certain age. Be easy to say zombies. Don't really want to be into the dead. I'm going to be pretty boring and say that she doesn't like it when Sims get smelly. It's pretty gross. This will be more of a fluctuating situation. Obviously, you can be smelly and then not smelly. People don't just wander around being smelly in The Sims. Okay, and we're done. So we press accept sim. Now, if you want, you could create more Sims, or you could create a dog or a cat. I won't go into that just now. We're keeping it basic, even though it's gone a very long time. I know I was a bit... took a long time to do character creation, but it's really hard for me not to. So I'm going to accept family. Which feature in particular do you mean then, Naraya? Alright, now we're back to Pleasant View. So it immediately selects the sim you've just made, unless your cursor floats away, and you can see that she has 20,000 simoleons in her household funds and no friends. She just moved here. So we could, like we said before, we could buy a plot of land and then we build up the house as we go along. We could buy a plot of land and do the money cheats. I can't remember them off the top of my head. I think it might be Kaching for 1,000 and then Motherlode for 50,000. I believe bringing up the cheat box is still Control-Shift-C. Then you type it in and you're good to go. That's what you want to do. There's nothing inherently wrong with doing that. If you have a vision for how your character's house looks, go for it, I say. The story is the thing. For now, we are just going to the attraction versus Ix, yeah. You'll probably be able to see that in play as well, what happens when they see someone they're into and not. They will be demonstrative about it. Yeah, so we're just going to do what the game expects you to do and pick a house. So we want to pick the cheapest house. It's just one of us, so we don't need to worry about multiple bedrooms. Cheapest house means we've got more money to buy decent items. So these houses over here look a bit too fancy, definitely over here as well. So we're going to go to this one that kind of just looks really crap and boring. Next door to the Burb family, who are from Sims 1 as well. I think, who was it? Brad and Tiffany. I was playing them today actually. Brad and Tiffany with their son Johnny, who in Sims 2, as it's 25 years later, he's just called John. And they had a little dog called Tucker, who probably is not with us any longer, sad face. And here we have the Burb family, and yeah, I believe he... this is just doing, I just love my Sims lore. He married Jennifer Pleasant, who, if you remember from the beginning, we pointed out was in Sims 1, a sister of Daniel, who's the guy, the father of Angela and Lilith, who I described earlier. So they are there as well. I believe they have a daughter. Across the way is the Oldie family, They are the parents of Mary Sue, who is married to Daniel. I don't expect you to be like, oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. But this is just giving you an idea of how interconnected the families can be. Not in a gross way, in a totally reasonable small town sort of way. And the Broke family, who we saw at the beginning, with the daughter of the newbies, who is having a bit of a sad life. You can see when you hover over the house, you put the name of the household, and you've got, here we have a little sun shape. This is telling us that in this house, it is summer. Because when you're in a household, time is frozen for all of the other households in The Sims 2. So different houses in the same town can have different seasons, depending on how long you play them. I know there are people out there who rotate the families to make sure they're all in the same kind of timeline. So they'll specifically play like, okay, I'm going to play 10 days, no, 10 days would be too long, 5 days with this family, then 5 days on that family, and they do this rotation. If that's what you want. There's a quiz after the stream. Did I not mention that, Calvin? I'll put it in the Discord. So this looks like the one we're going to go for. It is 12,749 simoleons. It is for sale. Has a nice tree out the back, and it is summer on this lot. So move family into this lot. Yes. Here we go. How long did it take me to get to gameplay this time? About the same as last time. But I was explaining everything, so, and having a bit of fun with character creation. Here we go, and I wish you wouldn't go straight in because I need to decorate the house. Alright, and it's defaulted on pause. You can press P to pause and unpause, pretty standard. You've got... Okay, I'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to take a quick break and get back, and then we'll do the gameplay part of the stream. So I'm going to immediately save. You always want to be saving. It's good to get into a habit of saving regularly, especially I have heard there are crashes in these versions. So, you know, if you link it to something you're more likely to remember, say, okay, she's gone to bed, I will save. She's gone to work, I will save, that kind of thing. You're more likely to get along. So I will be right back, and we will start seeing what we can buy her to give her, you know, a furnished house.